Be brave. By the weird song in the dark, you'll find your way. And the wild ways we think we walk just bring us here again. My name is Kathleen Jamie. I'm a poet and writer, and I was the Macker from 2021 till 2024. The first task I had as Macker within a month of my appointment was to speak here in the Scottish Parliament chamber at the state opening of Parliament 2021. The chamber was crammed, the late Queen was there, the now King Charles was there, all the ministers were there, all the MSPs were there, many members of the public, and I was in a sort of balcony, and my job was to declaim a poem, down into the chamber, which I have to admit I quite enjoyed. So that was the start of it. But subsequently after that, I got to travel, quite extensively around Scotland, engaging with a lot of grassroots activity around poetry, readers groups, writers groups, and you'd be surprised at how much there is, people quietly and not so quietly reading and writing poetry, and as I say, keeping that strong tradition alive and current in our national life. There are two quotations in contention, and they both come from the same book, a book called The Bonniest Company, which I wrote throughout 2014, which of course was a momentous year in Scotland, and I wanted to mark that year in my own poet's way, not in a political way, but feeling the energy that was in the country at that time. So I challenged myself to write one poem a week throughout that year, with some success. I got 47, I think. So both of the poems chosen came from that year, and because I was having to think of a new poem every week, it's not the way I usually work. I was having to delve into my own memories and delve into here and there, and push myself places to find poems. The Storm is one I wrote from a memory of, goodness knows, above 40 years ago. Why it came back to me, I don't know. Perhaps just because I was trying to find things. And it concerns, the poem's self-explanatory, hearing this weird noise in a stormy night, which eventually guided us home, although it was a very scary noise, so it was just that, trust the weird sometimes. The Storm. Mind on wild night, how the pair of us got lost and clung together, stumbled on, scared half daft by a wraith-like moaning through the murk, till we found its source, just a metal gatepost with a voice the storm had loaned. A post we knew. It showed us the path to the croft house we'd rented cheap, till spring at least, when we went our separate ways. Mind too, what we told each other that far-off day. Be brave. By the weird song in the dark, you'll find your way. The other one, the tradition, is something I've wrangled with all my creative life. What we owe the tradition, can we escape the tradition? Do we feel it bearing down on us? If that tradition is very masculinist, what does that mean for women? All those questions have been circling around all my life as a writer. And that one, the tradition was, I think, accepting is actually inescapable, And perhaps that's all right. You can only add to it and you can develop it, but you probably can't escape it. The tradition. For years I wandered hill and moor, half looking for the road, winding into fairyland, where that blacksmith kept a forge, who'd heat red hot the dragging links that bound me to the past, then, with one almighty hammer blow, unfetter me at last. Older now, I know nor fee nor anvil breaks those chains, and the wild ways we think we walk just bring us here again. Poetry is, and always has been, integral to our national life. But the fact that words of mine will be joining those that are already there and adding to this wreathing of poetry around the Parliament building, that wall of truth, if you like, and that wall of integrity that surrounds us here. I don't think that's too strong a statement, do you? And the words of mine, whichever are chosen, will be inscribed there also. Yeah, that's okay. I can go with that. Poetry is very democratic. It's available to anybody, through libraries, through memory, You don't even have to be able to read to appreciate poetry, So it's there, it's available, it's free, and it's absolutely of our culture. So, involve yourselves.